awesome was that?
Hey,
Welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
I'm Zach.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly wine, whiskey, beer, and bourbon show where we try it and you want to know. That's what we're here for. That was the debut of our 2022 show intro. Give us some love. We hope you liked it. We are glad that was really back. So that was good.
We're working on it. That's just the first run.
That was our debut. We may make some changes.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Welcome to 2022, y'all.
Yeah, wow, we're here, and we thought we would put COVID behind us, and wow, it's crazy.
Came right back in a different place.
I digress, but still, it's great to just get away from reality, talk to you guys about whiskey and bourbon, stuff we all love, we can all relate to on a certain level, and we thank you all for joining us tonight, and we have a special treat. So for the month of January, we've decided to do Old Bourbon New Year for the month of January.
Wait, pause that and reverse it. New Year.
Old Bourbon.
That's it.
New Year,
New Year, Old Bourbon.
Yeah, you guys
Year,
make it
New
sound
Bourbon.
way better than I did.
And we're real excited because this month we're going to focus on select offerings from a very cool distillery, Foreman Brown Distillery.
Straight out of the Bourbon Trail.
Old
Foe.
Forester. The
Old Foe. Back to Kentucky Bourbon, folks.
We're back. Hello.
Is this a shelfie? Is this an everyday?
This is a shelfie. Yeah, 1870 is a shelfie.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Go and take a shelfie.
I'm
Vanna?
gonna be honest with you. I've never had this. I don't know much about Old Forester except to look for the pretty crystal decanters of the 9 and 13 years. I don't know anything about their basic B offerings. So hopefully today you will give us a lesson.
I'm going to teach you a little something
Okay,
about
get this
Old
going.
Forester.
Oh, that was quite the
Ding,
reveal.
ding, 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 ding.
So what is that coming in at? 45%?
45. Yeah,
All
this
right.
is only 90 proof.
Any cool stories on there? Like what would make me
I'll tell you.
walk? Here's the thing. What would make me walk into a store and buy this?
That big red stamp across the front that says original batch.
OG. It's an OG.
This is the original batch. So Old Forester has a couple of claims to fame, so they say. They say that this was the first bottled bourbon in Kentucky. I don't know how they can make that claim, but they make that claim.
I think there's
Interesting.
a lot of things that do that.
A lot of bourbon saying we're the first bottled bourbon. But this is the original batch. So this is the original mash bill batch from 1890, 1870.
Think
I
about
got my
it, though.
numbers all.
Think about this.
1870.
Did they really know what they were drinking back then?
Swill?
Yeah, it was,
They
it
were
was
gonna
not,
swill.
It was not refined. This was stuff straight out.
I will
of-
probably I will hold a solid argument against anyone that would like to say old whiskey tastes better than new whiskey.
I would hold that. I'd hold that argument too.
Yeah.
Alcohol whiskey, no way.
no way.
I guarantee
Rot
you, they're
gut,
drinking for effect,
bathtub.
not for
Yeah.
the taste.
Thank
Yep.
you. Zach's hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah.
Give me a whiskey.
Whiskey
Cut it
has been
forward.
crafted, right? And remember, it's called shot because you'd hand over some buckshot or some bullets at the bar, and they'd give you that much whiskey for your bullets. That's why. This is literally why it's called a shot. If you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
So you'd buy this because it says 1870. It's got the original batch stamp on it. It says on the front here, in 1870, George Garvin Brown crafted the original small batch whiskey at 322 West Main Street on Louisville's Whiskey Row. The Old Forester 1870 expression is handcrafted in this tradition. So it is a handcrafted tradition. They go back to a version of the original mash bill. A reminder that mash bill is 51% corn. I'm not a big fan of this, but we're really excited, and we're going to go in order
Why'd
this
you
month.
buy it? If
Because
you're not a
we're going
fan
in
of it.
order, right? So Old Forester offers an 1870, an 1893, the Superior 1910, and then they do a very hypey 1920 Prohibition style.
And the fancy decantered,
Those live
decanted,
outside of that
allocated,
old
highly
bourbon.
allocated,
You know what's
unicorn status bottles.
So you know what's
like birthday
interesting
bourbon?
that I was thinking about?
And
So
birthday
why not the older? Why wouldn't the older year be more? Yeah, I mean, why did they?
Working on that, Bob.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Bob's like wants a T-shirt.
Bob wants a T-shirt.
Now that he's been on the show
So
multiple times.
You would think the older whiskey would be better. right? Or at least
No, we just
It's
talked
not
about
wine,
this.
right? Like wine ages
So
differently. You got to remember, let's take it back a few steps because this is a great conversation, Zach, to bring up. So you got to remember, bourbon at a certain point in the barrel hits a sweet spot of aging. People automatically think the longer something sits in the barrel, the better it tastes.
Not with
Wrong.
whiskey.
Wrong. If you want an oak bomb of
Remember Barrel Lamaze.
bitter garbage,
Let's start the year right, talking about that Barrel Lamaze, the in and out process.
There can be too much of it.
supposedly the sweet spot of barrel aging is 6 to 9 years. That's kind of the sweet spot.
Okay, my argument to that would be you've got to have a really great cooperage process. And I think if you've got
I'm sure.
if you've got the right wood and the right juice,
Yeah.
the right wood and the right juice,
Yeah.
don't be nasty.
Right, white oak.
Then I think you're going to have some magical juice. We've had some 12-year that is disgustingly good. Disgustingly
Yes. 12 and 13 year bull run comes
So
to
good.
mind.
Right.
We've had some great.
Oh, Tripping Bulls at that
Yes.
12 and 13-year
Yes.
mark? Retardedly good.
FYI, Johnny's watching the show per Redbeard. Just
Hey, little Johnny.
Johnny.
Johnny! Good to see you, buddy.
But remember that some of the experts, and I'm not going to claim to be one of those tonight. Notice I say tonight. Some of the experts do say, though, that after that 9-year mark, what you start to get is essentially barrel tea. So you hear about the
Yeah.
angel's share and the devil's cut.
Yep.
So the angel's share is what's naturally evaporating
Evaporated.
from the barrel.
Yep.
You have the devil's cut, which is what's left in the barrel staves.
Yep.
Really hot. Really high. That's some ethanol.
And you're getting a lot more of that barrel profile. So you're getting more of that oak, a little bit of bitterness.
Think
You're
of like
getting a
that
lot of
oak
the-
stave is like a washcloth. You're literally wringing it out,
Yeah.
and you're getting a lot of that wood profile.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, it's not good.
Not good.
And also, with the devil's share, right? Or what is it? The devil's
The devil's cut.
the devil's cut, right? So whenever you bourbon barrel age, say like a stout or something like that, that's sucking in the devil's cut.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all of that
or it's
is
expressing, right? It could be expressing that devil's cut.
I don't like that. I hate that word.
The devil's-
Express.
It's really
expressing.
expressing it.
Big expression.
That goes right on my
Devil's
list with phlegm
And moist.
and moist.
cut. Bad words.
Express. Well, I've poured us all a little tasting of this amazing
Polyps.
original batch.
Jowl.
Oh, I like it. Good jowl. Good
Like-
pork jowl. Oh, come on. That's the Pollock in me.
Nice job.
Happy 2022
Happy
to you
2022.
and you and you.
Nice job.
Thank you. 3 sips around this neighborhood.
Jesus. Lord Christ.
So this is extraordinarily spice forward.
Oak.
A lot of oak.
Give me some oak.
Spice
Give me some wood.
forward. Spice forward.
Yeah. This is.
But it does smooth out. It smooths out into a nice vanilla and cream character. It does live in the back of that palate.
little caramel, and I would
It's
say
in the back.
I'd say caramel and vanilla, very, very under. I mean, you really
Gotta fight for it.
You gotta dig for that.
Yeah. All right, number 2.
All right.
Give it a minute though. Like if you're still enjoying it, and this would be my pro tip for you this evening. If you're still enjoying the linger, the finish, don't immediately jump into it. Enjoy it. Find those flavor profiles that you want to pick out and hang on to into that next sip.
I'm getting a lot of spice out of the nose. A lot of spice can't really get. Very floral.
Wow.
I'm getting floral. I'm getting spice.
I'm going to
When it comes to the nose.
let you guys go first.
I told you this is not my favorite expression of theirs.
Thank you. Redbeard says nice face, James. Right?
He's
Exactly.
got a poker face,
But
guys.
I will
Doesn't really linger,
explain in a moment.
Doesn't really linger.
I think
Spice up front. Maybe a subtle linger of the vanilla and caramel. Very subtle linger.
remember that breathe out, like tip your head down and breathe out through your mouth. I think that's one of the better ways to enjoy this. Yeah, on the nose, a lot of spice. I don't really get ethanol. It's not like ethanol, but it's
That's super
chewy.
hot.
So the way you're chewing it, right? They call that
chewy.
that Kentucky chew.
It is chewy.
Right? It's chewy. You gotta kind of chew through it.
But I don't appreciate the flavors. So I'm going to tell you guys right now. This is everything I don't like in a bourbon. And what I mean by that is, it's got a lot of oak.
Very oaky.
A lot of oak barrel. Think of think of tree bark, smelling tree bark, tasting tree bark.
Ooh,
like if you ever would do that dirty, that gritty, sandy,
it
woody
is.
taste,
Yeah.
smell. Spice, very, very heavy clove. I get a ton of clove in this.
Yeah, I like
This is
that.
almost like tongue numbing when it comes to the spice.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, it's not
So,
cinnamon. It is very
it's
clove forward.
spice,
Like smoking cloves,
clove.
actually.
Yes.
Like when you smoke a clove cigarette.
That's
That's what this is
But
like.
but,
it's like
but not the sweetness.
it's like smoking a
not
clove
sweet.
cigarette.
and you're
not
tasting
sweet.
your mouth afterwards.
A harsh clove cigarette.
This is just, I respect it for what it is, but it's a spice bomb in my opinion. This is very just
Spicy.
oaky and spicy and
Spicy.
floral.
So let's go back then to how this conversation
vanilla.
kicked off.
At all, no vanilla.
I think there's a little in the back end.
Uncle Punky, what's up, buddy? Maybe
up?
faint.
I can take. So
It's faint.
Chris
Conrad.
Conrad is on the line. Welcome to the show.
So you gotta wait for the vanilla. Very, very subtle.
It's you got to fight for it, and it's
And it's-
really in the back of the
And
palate.
it's the aftertaste. So like lick your
at the
lips
camera.
a little bit and like think about it.
Producing. We're trying to remind Zach here to look at all of you.
What's funny
It's a
is
challenge.
I do it the most.
He does do it the most.
No, trust me, no, because I want to. I just want to turn and look at you because you're looking at me. It's like subconscious.
Like this.
But don't do it
Oh my
because
God.
I want to
Can
turn
we
to
get
you
back to the thoughts on this here?
and talk to you. But we have to talk to the camera. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
I digress.
So,
Hey James,
He's-
look at me in the eyes.
He's just trying not to.
So let's go back to the original part of our conversation, though. We were talking about Old West, old bourbon, and listen, 1870. We're talking cowboy whiskey at this point.
Yeah.
So we said, not great, kind of swilly.
Can I call it right now? I think this would be magical in a cocktail.
I can see that.
Be a good mixer.
It needs sweetness. This needs
It
sweetness.
does. It needs.
This needs sugar.
You throw it in an old fashioned. Throw some bitters in there. Get a little bit more like,
A Manhattan with a little
Manhattan.
vermouth,
You
right?
need some like like the Luxardo cherry juice.
That's
But this
yes,
needs a
Luxardo
lot to
cherry,
stand up. So
it needs some sweetness.
I think it's got a big flavor profile for not being. It's really muddied.
Yeah.
Just not our style.
I mean, it's kind of mad to me. I mean, I respect it. I get it. I understand it. It's
How do
an
you-
original recipe spice bomb.
how do you put this up against most well whiskeys?
Oh well, whiskey.
A well whiskey.
I don't know. I
Bottom
think
of the list. I hate to say it, and if Old Forester, if you're listening, no disrespect here, but if I had a decision to make of a run of the mill, we're just gonna say a eye level pick. We're not gonna say bottom shelf because
Right.
I will say just it's a mid level pick.
Shelf up, a shelf down.
I personally still prefer Elijah Craig small batch and Wild Turkey 101 over this significantly.
Interesting.
Times 3 or 4 steps.
so.
Guys, what do you got? What do you
when
got?
Say well whiskey. Well whiskey can be very.
Yeah, well,
Subject-
whiskey could be
subjective.
Oh, it's all over
J.P.
the place.
Weiser's
Yeah,
or
it's all
something,
over the
right?
place.
Exactly. That could be Pukachev,
Shout out to J.P.
freaking,
Weiser's.
whatever it is.
Popeyes,
Pop-Ups.
Plastic
Could-
Bottle Delight.
Oh, that's Gordon's.
Could
Thank
be
you.
Javier's whiskey.
Javier's
You're like,
whiskey.
you're like, oh, I've never heard of that.
Straight out of Juneau, Alaska. You're like, wait, what?
Where'd that come from?
Straight out of Juneau.
Straight out of Juneau.
Of course. Of course.
What do you guys compare it to? What do you compare it to on the bottom shelf?
We didn't say bottom shelf.
Okay,
remember.
mid-shelf.
Eye level.
Eye level shelf. What do you compare it to?
I thought that was very PC of you. By the
I
way.
need your guys' opinions. I'm turning a new leaf 2022.
I like it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not less extremes from me.
So, I started this for those of you who are big fans of this or are big fans of Old Forester. I said, this expression is not my favorite. I've had this because I got roped in a long time ago to be like, oh, it's got to be good. It's the original batch. It's going to be something amazing. And it's not. It's a little hypey. I'm glad to have it in the collection. I think it's interesting, and I like having that lineup, right? 1870, 1897, 1910, 1920. I think that's cool. I don't know that I have
Redbeard, yes.
something to compare it to.
I'm looking
Conrad,
behind me, trying to decide. It's better.
4R is way better.
But
Sorry, I've been listening. What do you got?
Chris Conrad, that's a good point. If I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to Four Roses Small Batch.
Yeah. If I had to say what was next
batch
in line to comparatively taste it against, absolutely, it's very.
I'd put it up
close
against Four Roses.
to Four Roses.
I'd really
Small
put this
batch.
up against the Four Roses.
Yeah.
It's got that same spice,
Same
notes
spice
and a lot
character,
of oak,
a lot of
with
oak.
a little bit of a soft,
Guys,
creamy.
and personally,
palate.
you know me, I loathe oak.
That's
but
interesting.
Doesn't
it's-
like the wood.
But I love my bourbon and whiskey, so there has to be a fine medium, right?
Yeah,
With
like-
me, I want vanilla caramel dessert bomb, and then we have like a Four Roses small batch, which we just opened up here.
Nope, this is their Kentucky Straight Bourbon. This isn't small batch.
Well, that's bottom shelf though, so this is a great example.
Entry level, Mr. New Leaf. Woo!
Brand new barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. I mean, you already had your mouth around it, so you might as well taste it.
HTN1.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's alcohol. It kills everything.
Interesting.
Similar or
I'm
no?
curious to
It's similar.
compare.
I would put the I'd put the small
Very
batch.
little to taste.
I'd put the small batch up against. It doesn't regular Four Roses. It's close. This is a little sweeter.
I was trying to think of what this would go into.
It's a little sweeter.
So like early times, I would say below.
No,
above that, an Elijah.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
All right, I'm comparing
right
it to
back.
the Four Roses here.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of this.
What do you think? Similar? I'm not a fan of Four Roses, but let's see.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. So I think that Four Roses is way more light and kind of bright, pillowy. Here's the thing: Four Roses. Oh, just really quick. Let me say my quick rant while it's still fresh in my mind. Four Roses. It's very non-offensive. Like, I could just keep pounding this and drinking it.
I disagree with that.
Where I think the Old Forester, I'm having a hard time getting through it. But, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. The Four Roses to me is just very light. It's very mellow. But it has a interesting potpourri, flowery taste to it that I'm just not digging. I don't dig either of these, like, just me personally. And if I had to compare the two, I think they both have their pros and cons. I'm not going to say one is blatantly better than the other.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure that these are even comparable. I think the small batch, Four Roses small batch. I think that was a good move. I think that was a good statement.
Yeah.
This guy over here, like it's very super smooth. Like this is like drinking water. Like,
Redbeard said meant the single
very,
barrel.
very
Oh, we can bust out like, well, yeah, I mean, we can bust out a single barrel. We got one down there somewhere. It's going to be in the bottom two shelves. There should be one open. There should be a single barrel down there that's open. But anyway, again, what's that?
We don't have an open single barrel. We have 2 bottles, but we don't have.
Well, grab one and open it.
You have an open Old Forester single barrel?
No, I don't have. Well, we have an
You
open
can't record
Old
that,
Forester cask strength. We actually do have that one. If you want to grab the Old Faux,
Ooh!
we have a little bit
At
left.
the very end. At the very end.
At the very
At
end.
the very
We'll
end.
do a little
So,
treat. And there was only like a taste.
I'm going
left.
to disagree a little bit on the comment that the Four Roses single barrel.
Let's put both bottles up here, please. Just
I don't think that that's comparable. I like the Four Roses single barrel. The small batch, the true small batch. Thank you. I think
it is, Ken. It is.
I think it's a little
amazing.
more tasteable, but All right, let's get into scores.
Let's get into scores.
Let's wrap this up. So we're talking the Old Forester 1870. This is the original batch, as they call it. Nose. For those of you just joining us or returns, we're talking about our score process. Everything's a 1 through 3. You could give a 0.
0.
But 1 is, I don't like it. 2 is, it's okay, I expected it. 3 is, wow, I really liked it.
0.
So 2 is a good score.
Hate it.
James, start us off with the nose here.
Nose gets a 1. The nose is very deceiving. You have to try hard to get a really good smell, like a scent profile. Is that the word? Like to get a good nose? I'm giving it a 1. You really have to get into it to get anything. And it's deceiving because it smells very sweet. It smells very vanilla custard-like. So when you smell it, you're like, ooh, I'm getting into something awesome. And then you taste it and you're like, wow, I just took a bite out of that potpourri that's sitting behind Grandma's toilet. You know, you're like, that's 30 years old.
Wow.
And, you know.
Okay.
I did say turning a new leaf. That's about as tame as I'm going to get. So, and what did I already give it a rating?
You gave it a 1.
I
Zach?
gave it a 1. Zach, what do you got?
I am also going to give it a 1. So remember, with our scoring process, 0 through 3. 0, I absolutely hate it. 1, it's okay. 2, I like it. 3, I have to have it.
It's
right?
weird. Did you
So
mix the two?
with my score when it comes to the 1, it's there isn't a whole lot to it other to the nose other than like the spice and then a little bit of floral. Like not my thing. Not a fan. Yeah. And you know, it's kind of I was reading some of the nose and tasting notes. Yeah, like there's a portion of it that says there's a hint of caramel and vanilla in it. I don't care.
A hint, maybe a hint.
A hint. Remember, a hint.
Right.
A hint does not mean it's present. It means it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
Guys,
It's a
again,
hint.
and not to fucking butt in again, I think this would make a great cocktail.
Good.
It's a great
It's good.
cocktail
And also-
bourbon.
also-
It's
February, when we
Again-
get into cocktails, we'll bust this back out.
But also,
Yeah.
again, like a 1 is it's okay. 2 is it's good. 3, I have to have it.
So you gave it a what?
I give it a 1.
A 1. Okay, the nose. Yeah, listen, you got to fight through something for
You
me
do.
to get the nose.
you do.
There is, in my opinion, and again, I've had some experience with this bottle. I'm not digging into past experience. I'm taking this impartially, just on what we've had this evening. There is a very spicy, unpleasant nose. It's not great. I don't think that there's anything there that makes me go, oh wow, that's bourbon. Oh wow, that's whiskey. I really like that. Not a big fan of what I'm getting into there. I think there is this really odd botanical smell. It's almost reminiscent of like. You keep going back to more?
Well, yeah, because I
Okay.
want to give our audience a fair judgment.
Appreciate that.
They're going out.
Very floral.
They're going out on payday Fridays, and they want to spend their
You
hard-earned
shouldn't do that.
shekels
You shouldn't do
and
that.
whomp them. And we want
Shouldn't do
to
that.
recommend a value bourbon.
This
I
is-
Value
said to
whiskey.
the sake, but I
This
want
may not be
you
it.
to finish.
This almost has like a fernet. It's not like licorice, but it is like lots of
Clove.
botanicals. Oh, you know,
Star anise.
chartreuse.
Yeah.
Almost like a reminder of chartreuse.
Nose on the
So
nose,
not a big
yeah.
fan there on the nose. I'm
I
gonna
love
also give it a
chartreuse,
1.
but that's
I do
me.
too. And I like botanicals, but maybe not when it comes to my whiskey.
Yeah.
Let's get into the flavor profile, the taste here, the palate, if you will. So for the palate, the taste here, I'm going to give this a 1.5. Again, I have to struggle through.
Hold on. Josh Barr is asking mix with what? An old fashioned. I think
Yeah.
this would
It
make a
needs
great
sweetness,
old
Josh.
fashioned.
Something
It
to
needs
sweeten it
sweetness.
up.
Sweetness. For
Well,
me,
that's it. Maybe
sugar.
Yeah, not just an old fashioned
Sour.
whiskey sour, dude. This would make a killer. whiskey
Pisco sour. Add an 8.
That too.
I think this needs some sweetness. This just needs something to balance it, right?
Yeah.
It's very one-sided, and it's sided on that one jagged side.
Yeah.
Where it's the unpleasant side. When I say jagged, I don't mean like ultra harsh. It's not ultra harsh. It's like just not pleasant. It's not something I pour the bottle back and be like, yeah, it's a party.
Well, if you like oak and you like spice.
It's really oaky. Yeah, it's like chewing on a piece of bark. It's really woodsy.
And I think some distilleries specifically gear a brand or a line of whatever towards this is our mixing whiskey. This needs to go behind the bar for cocktails. And that's all we're trying to achieve here.
And a reminder, even the Prohibition whiskeys, right? Those Prohibition spirits, they were so bad. They were so strong. They were so cut with so many different things. The whole point of those were mixers. That's why we have so many great cocktails that came out of Prohibition. You couldn't drink it straight.
That's it.
It was not intended to be mixed or to drink straight. At that point, you had to mix it.
Back then, nothing tasted good. Yeah,
also, you have to think about it too. Like with this 1870, they're selling a lot of it, right? You always see it on the shelves.
No, this is probably
it's not a sipping whiskey.
the gun pour at a lot of places.
Yeah.
Oh, I would drink this for effect. I'd take a shot of this.
Sure.
I'd shoot
this.
This is a shooter.
And Old Forester
It's a shooter.
is a recognizable brand.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm not against shooting it.
It doesn't really matter.
Any day of the week.
What version of it?
Any day of the week, I'll shoot it. It's
But
got a good nose.
You'll know Old Forester, what
I'd
brand
shoot
it
this
is.
over Jamie.
Hell yeah.
I'd shoot a lot of things over Jamie.
There's much worse than this.
There's
But
so much
I'd shoot
worse
this.
than this.
I'd shoot this over a lot of things. I'd shoot this. Great shooter. Smooth shooter.
Great shooter.
I'd shoot this.
Yeah.
Not a 7 whiskey.
Shooter
This is
whiskey?
give me a shot.
Yeah.
And you set 6 bullets on the counter.
And again, I think they have their niche, right? I think that they know, Old Forester knows what this is for.
Yeah.
I think they understand that this is for that mixer audience, that shooting audience.
Yeah.
They have so many amazing bourbons in their lineup
Yeah.
that this is the entry level, and it is what it is, right?
This
Like,
is not
this
like-
is- so-
is not
but
like
this is
call
an entry
whiskey.
level, remember.
This is a call whiskey. You just say, give me an Old Forester. I see the Old Forester, give it to me.
you
Remember
don't
though.
think this is a call bottle?
No, this is a call bottle.
It's a call bottle.
Oh,
This is a
okay.
call bottle because Old Forester has Old Forester whiskey.
You know,
How about
you're
this?
right,
Hey.
you're right.
Forester.
Hey, why don't we determine what's the price?
Well, let's get through our taste first. I gave it a 1.5. Zach,
I'm going to give it a 1.
any reasons?
So I'm going to give it 1 reason why. Like the nose, which is very floral, very spicy. That kind of translates into the taste. Normally, I don't like a whole lot of oak. Well, I mean, a whole lot of oak, a whole lot of floral. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I'm going to change.
Wow, you really talked yourself
really
into
I'm
it.
open
gonna
up.
give it
You
a
talked
1.5.
yourself.
And the only
If
reason
you
why,
keep talking, you might give it a 2.
and the only reason why is because there is a little bit of a pleasant caramel vanilla undertow.
Is that enough to give it a half?
I think so. I think so.
Hold
Because
on.
like a
Hold
1
on.
is really like, I didn't really.
Let me ask you this
Because it's
question.
not good, Zach.
Does this, when we put this away tonight, does this go on the shelf behind us? Or does it go in the globe?
It goes in the globe.
Well, I think you talked yourself out of half a point.
I don't know.
Jimmy?
I'm gonna give
It's
it
a
a 1.5.
globe.
just
So
because-
for those friends out there, our friends out there, I have one of those amazing, and which anybody that owns a bar probably has one of these.
I have one.
It's the globe that what is it? The liquor cart.
It's the old
globe,
school
the old
liquor
school-
bar that you have. You open the globe opens up.
opens the lid. and
opens
it's got
in
a bunch of
half
bottles in
right
it.
upon the equator, and then you pop some bottles in it.
So for those that don't know
like a
already,
guest
and I know we've
whiskey.
talked about it, but we consider anything in the globe a guest beverage, guest whiskey, guest bourbon.
I think people might like
This
it, to be
is
honest with you.
100% a guest whiskey, and I think, hold on,
Yeah.
this is doing a disservice to people that you want to introduce to bourbon. Do not use this,
Thank you.
in my opinion.
I thought you were going to make
as-
the argument that this was an introduction.
Absolutely
I would argue that all
not.
night.
I think this is a one-off. It has a certain audience that it caters to.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I'm giving it a 1 on the taste. Again, you guys know me. It's not my wheelhouse. There we go, a little buzzword for 2022.
Zing.
I'm not digging it. I don't like it. It's too floral. It needs to go into a cocktail. You don't sip this. If anybody out there wants to fight us and argue against that fact, please do.
Whoa, I regret giving you a shot.
I will debate.
Just give me your score.
I already did it.
Which was?
Talk about who wants to restrict shots from people.
No more shots.
You said 1. Give it 1.
All right, value. Let's talk value for the small batch.
Bob wants a globe, he said. He wants a globe.
We're gonna help you with that.
We can hook you up. We know a guy. We know a guy that does globes.
$42.99 at your local release just down the street.
Taste 1.
Great. Value $42.99
Oh, what a ripoff!
at your Lee's down the street.
0.
The fact that I could even pick this up at your Lee's, Team W did not have this.
Interesting.
And it was the one and only bottle on the shelf tonight.
Wow. Not very popular.
One and only
Because
bottle.
it's not good. That good. It needs to go into a cocktail. Whoa, wait, $14.99?
No, $42.99. It's
$42.
40. Oh, I thought I was going to say, if it was $15,
It's
this is the deal of the century.
Think about it. It's like $45 after tax. $45.
Dude, this is a tough pill to swallow, as they say.
It's right on the edge. It's on the ball.
It's on the cusp of being too much.
So
think about what else is in that price
Since it
range.
came from my pocket, I'm going to start the bids on this.
Well said.
My shekels before payday.
Your clams.
Since this came from my lunch
So that means he put it on the credit card.
No.
Your move on.
It's not Payday Friday.
This is not payday Friday, which means it came from my lunch fund for the rest of the week.
You're not
Which means I'm packing
You can
bologna
come,
sandwiches
you can
for the
come
rest
here
of the
for
week.
lunch. I will cook lunch the rest of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5, and here's why. It's almost what I would expect it to be. It's just not good enough. Again, I think it's cool when we add this to a collection. As a standalone bottle, no way. In a collection, okay. And I think it deserves to be part of a collection. In fact, half of the Lees tonight was decked out in pictures of the entire collection of Old Forester tonight, which I, of course, took pictures for our Instagram. You can go to our Instagram at the Barrel Buds and check that out. I'll post that tonight. So I'm really excited to post that. But as a collection, yes, and that's where that half point comes from. I'm with you. I think it's great for shots. If somebody said, let's do shots of whiskey, which at our age, I don't think anybody's doing shots anymore, but hey, if they are, I'm pouring this. I think this is a shooter. 1.5 for my value. It's not a huge value. It's not a value.
Okay.
You give it 1.5?
I
go to
give
my
it
regular.
a
Value. 40.
for value.
45 out the door.
$45. I'm going to give it 0. I think that it is absolutely nowhere near the price point that it needs to be for the taste. If it was a $20 bottle, I would be like, okay, sure, I'm fine with it. I'm giving it a big fat 0.
Hey, Old Forester, please tune into our show next week where we're going to have something different. We'll promise to be nicer. Zach?
The devil. The devil.
0.
Zach?
You know what? I'm going to give it.
He's going to be nice and give it a half point watch.
You know what? From my point of view, I'm going to give it.
You need to stop and let him give his own. New year, old bourbon.
Sorry.
So let's.
Hold on. Taste it before you pass judgment again.
Should we talk about this for a minute?
Value.
So value.
$45 is not cheap.
Value for everybody.
That's
or
half
value,
$100.
Value for everybody or value for me?
Value for you.
For me.
For you,
Specifically,
Zach. Would you spend almost $50 on this bottle?
I've spent
No.
$50 on worse.
I spent worse.
You have,
I
but that's
we
not
all
what
have.
we're talking
We
about.
all have.
We all have, hands down.
But that feeling of just having that.
And think about everything else that is worth the value.
Just give me a number.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't buy it. I would never buy this again. I'll give it a 0. Sorry.
Wow.
You know,
I can't believe you talked him into it.
I wouldn't talk anybody into anything.
Talked him into it.
How dare you? You think I'm
Unbelievable.
I am not even next to him to whisper in his ear to convince him otherwise.
I was walking around.
You are next to him.
I was walking around Total Wine the other day. Actually, today. And I saw Buffalo Trace, $25. I saw Elijah Craig,
Split that three ways.
$30. Oh, man.
Bring out that glass.
Thank you, Zach.
I could not.
Thank you, Zach.
I couldn't take myself to. I couldn't put myself to spend $45 on this.
All right, so in a nutshell, I'm giving it a 2.5 total score. That's an embarrassment. Again, if you want to save yourself with this and you buy it, then go and mix it into a cocktail. I will tell you that much. This is what it's geared towards. It is not a sipper. It is a cocktail bourbon. Do not go buy this and sip on it. Buy this if you want to make a kick-ass old-fashioned, a great whiskey sour, pisco. We talked about all these different cocktails. That's what this is for. And that's fine. And I'm sure that's probably what they're marketing towards.
Exactly. You don't drink this straight.
You don't drink it straight.
We don't recommend that.
So give us your guys' ratings. Give us your totals.
I gave it a 1, 1.5, and a 1.5 for a 5.
Okay, fair. Zach, what'd you give it?
Give it a 1 on the nose, 1.5 on the taste. Because
Did I do my math right?
liked that little vanilla nose.
4.5.
But a
4.5
on the value. So 2.5.
2.5. Okay. Well, there you have it. So, and here's the thing. BJ just poured the holy grail of Old Forester. This is what I would rate neck and neck with the birthday bourbon Old Forester.
No, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
So, thank you to Jimmy here, who's got this in his bar. We just poured the tiniest sip because that's what was left after a crazy night just before Christmas. We drank this whole bottle, the three of us. This is the Old Forester single barrel strength. For those of you still watching from Old Forester, we'd like to tell you that, to me, this is a 10 out of 10. Maybe with a blown away bonus to give it an 11.
I'll give it that.
No,
this is an 11.
This is a different for Old Forester. Absolutely.
Yes.
Night and day.
Zach, can you show this off to the
Total
camera?
Wine and More barrel strength barrel. This was Warehouse K, floor 5. Comes in at 64.6% alcohol.
64 point. Good. Was it?
God. Okay, here I'm just going to tell you. I don't need to give my. This is our ending sip. This is how we're going to go out for the evening.
Oh my! It's like caramel
liquid carrot cake with cream cheese frosting.
Yeah,
but it's hot as a mother. Wow, it's so good.
One more time on that front label to everybody.
64,
give it that pretty blue and gold label.
64.
Hot as a mother, but it is good. This. I'm going to tell you right now. And I've said this. I've never said it to the public like this.
130 proof.
But I said this to these gentlemen right here. This was the best bourbon I drank in 2021. This was the best I drank all last year.
So good, guys.
Out of everything I drank last year, this was the best. Look at this. I have this tiny little dram.
Yeah,
this was the best.
There's a reason why it's empty.
It's hot.
Night.
It's so hot. It is so ethanol hot, but it's liquid caramel. You're drinking liquid caramel. Fight through it. It is stupid. This is so ridiculously amazing.
As a seasoned drinker.
What? And here's what baffles me. How could they go from that to this? Yeah. Like, I have so many props.
I know why. I know why. And I'm going to tell you.
God,
because
so
as a marketing genius once said, there is no such thing as perfect mayonnaise, but there is such a thing as perfect mayonnaises. And if you've seen that TED Talk,
hey,
you've gotten deep into TED Talk.
Subscriber 1000 has to go. Cheers, Sub 1000.
Cheers to Bobby. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for joining us on Barrel Banter.
For those of you that don't know what Barrel Banter is, we start the show now at 6:30 with a little pre-show. It's silly, but it's Barrel Banter where we're interviewing you. If you want to be on Barrel Banter, send us a message.
And here's what I got to say. Here's a footnote. Subscriber 1000 probably spent about an hour with us. In his profession, that's probably like $500.
Oh, easy.
In his profession, it was $395 an hour.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. To have him just hanging out with us, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Bob.
Your time is invaluable. Thank you very much for joining us. So Redbeard has a bottle of Old Faux single barrel proof as a store proof.
We need to go there.
From his
we need to go there.
grocery
We need to go there.
store?
We need to go see.
I
it.
hope. Oh,
What kind of grocery store do you
Redbeard.
shop at?
Yeah, what is it? Is it a
Okay,
Ralph's?
heavenly
Oh, it might be a
grocery
Ralph's
store.
pick.
Is this a Whole Foods
Right.
pick?
If it's a Whole Foods, dude, it's going to be
Piggly
amazing.
Wiggly?
What's the ABV on that?
It's gonna be a Ralph's.
Can you
Redbeard.
get more?
Here's the thing.
Maybe
It is
We want
so
more.
good.
Open it.
is
Open it
so
now. Open it with little Johnny.
good. Stop that, will you?
Open it now.
Actually, here's the thing.
Do you want to chat, Redbeard?
Here's the thing.
You want to be on Barrel Banter next week?
We'll get him on Barrel Banter. Here's the thing. Old Forester single barrel, these barrel picks, they've just started probably in the past like 6 or so months, gotten super hypey and popular. You can still pick them up on secondary for like $200. So they're fairly reasonable. But retail on these is $100.
Which is incredibly a good
It's a
deal.
steal.
Yeah, that's
I'll pay $100.
I'd pay $100
every day for this.
Every day of the week.
Every day for this.
That's a value of a 4.
This is a 65%er almost. I drink 2 of these and I'm blitzed.
This is
One
insane.
done, 2 and done.
This is better than that JD single barrel select that we just had. Fact.
Stretch.
Best
That's close.
bottle of 2021, and we drank a lot.
Hold on, that's a bold statement. I almost
Best
agree with you.
bottle of 2021.
Yeah.
There was nothing I drank in 2021 that was better than this.
I'm gonna
JD
tell you
single
what was
barrel proof.
Shout out to our friend, Mr. Smith at the Cosmo. The birthday bourbon, old fashions he made for us.
That's right. We had a friend who made old fashions out of birthday bourbon.
Wow.
And I almost say that's embarrassing to say.
It's not though.
But after our third
It's not.
one, I was like, this is the best bourbon I've
No,
had.
I'm going to tell you because we were drinking them as old fashions.
Then we had it straight up and appreciated
It was
what we were drinking.
it was so good. It was so good, and that birthday bourbon is so good. But I'm telling you, this is
It's great.
This is my pick.
Here's the thing.
Zach, I'm sorry. What about you, buddy?
Yeah, muy bien. I would say absolutely.
Muy bien.
Then we
Old
stretched this out
Forester-
way long. We need to
Old
stop.
Forester. Hold
We
on.
need to
Hold on.
stop.
Old Forester. Here's the point. They have some mediocre stuff, and then they have some angelic, amazing
But
stuff.
they have a big,
Can we just?
they have a big line of
They have a huge
variants,
lineup.
though. I mean,
Zach,
think
they
about
have
it,
a
like,
huge lineup,
I mean,
brother.
think about it.
Huge
So
lineup.
the ones that we are talking about, that we're thinking about doing for January, we have 1870.
Oh shit! Hold on, really quick. Redbeard has the rye version, which I don't even have.
Wow.
I tried to get one.
You know,
a
he
couple
says
weeks ago.
he has the rye Jack Daniels.
No, oh, the Jack Daniels. I thought you said you had the rye Old Faux. I was like, OMG.
I was going to say, hey, let me ask you guys.
We can talk
when
trade.
you were talking about the Jack Daniels, you're talking about the single barrel proof,
Wait,
correct?
Jack Daniels?
The single barrel select.
The
Select.
Select.
Yeah, and
Barrel proof.
that's barrel proof. Yep,
Okay,
Yeah.
and that went up against Old Forester single barrel.
65.65%.
taste.
Okay,
of the
so
bottle.
which one is? I don't know.
Thank you,
Are they
Brian. Thank you,
50-50?
Brian. I'm with
Yes.
you, bud.
You enjoy that one?
So Brian's like, OF is hit or
Yes.
miss. It is. It truly is.
Well, this was a miss.
Well, that's their introductory, bottle of bourbon.
Here's where they kill it. Here's where they crush it. And I'm going to call it right now. The 1910, 1920, the
Fact.
single barrel, and the birthday bourbon.
So my
That's
second
their-
favorite Old Faux.
Well, and then I'm going to say the 9, and then they have all those weird crystal decanter shit. The 9, the 12, the 13, whatever, the 11. They have those weird age statements. They're okay. But, man, this single barrel is...
magic.
Very solid.
I'm sad it's gone.
I am sad, too.
I'm happy we have 2 more bottles behind us.
9 more bottles, actually.
We have 9 more bottles behind us.
Earlier.
Oh,
But
God.
from different places.
Doesn't matter.
Different.
Listen, this has been the show tonight.
It's been the show tonight.
We are New Year Old Bourbon, and so we have 3 more weeks of Old Faux coming at you.
Yeah, this is Old Forester month, guys,
Yeah,
because
this is
it's
the
old
first
bourbon.
one. The first one, hopefully.
If you're joining us next week,
I'm thinking that we're going to progress.
we are.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh,
I'm
we are.
so excited for
the
this whole
next
month.
one will be better. And then
18
the next one, and then the coup de grace.
It's going to be
See what happens.
1897 next,
Yep.
then 1910,
Okay.
then 1920 Prohibition style.
Then we're gonna do another single barrel.
Then I think we need to do a single barrel
And then
review.
Maybe,
top it all
maybe
off.
a birthday We'll see.
I think we should do a birthday bourbon with a birthday bourbon county.
Ooh, okay. Well, we're going to talk about it then. So, hold on really quick. Redbeard says, oh, the crystal decanter. Oh, let me show you guys. Hold on. You want to see it.
Oh.
Want to see it.
So for those of you that are listening on the new podcast, and for those of you that are watching and don't know about our new podcast, we are turning this also into a podcast so that you can listen to the Barrel Buddies as you drive back and forth to work. Check this out.
You ready?
Show it.
The 9-year. Here's
That's the
the
old
9-year.
Fitz,
Old Fitz.
which is one of the most beautiful bottled bourbons of all time.
But then we have the Old Forester birthday bourbon.
Beautiful. But I don't like that bottle so much. It's just a little squat pancake bottle.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
the Old Forester bottle is gorgeous. For those of you that are not watching, please join us on YouTube every now and then to see what we're talking about. For those of you that are watching, but saying, oh, it's really tough, it's getting more tough to watch us on Wednesday nights, don't forget to download us where you listen to your favorite podcast, because we are going to be on the podcasts. And I think with that, our show is done. Zach, you want to remind everybody what to do?
Absolutely. So like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Let everyone know who you like watching in the middle of the week. Whiskey Wednesdays. Drink well, be well. Enjoy your night. Thanks for,
give this
joining.
a like.
Thanks for
We
joining.
need the Facebook and YouTube gods here.
All right.
Love
all
you.
right, guys.